Good morning. I hope everybody's feeling good. And hang in there. We only have a few more weeks or 3 more weeks to go before school's out. I hope everybody will come to the big parade Monday at 1 o'clock or 1:30. I think it's 1:30 at school. I'll be there. And I'm going to continue with family stories. It was a lot of fun being brought up in a large family. There were a few drawbacks, though. One was dinner time. Having 4 sisters at the table with you, they always wanted to tell you what to do. My one oldest sister would come behind my brother and I, my younger brother and I, and put her hands on our shoulders and say, "Sit up straight." And if we didn't sit up straight, she would dig her fingernails into our shoulders. Okay, and then they would tell you how to eat. Take small bites and chew your food 20 times each bite. If my younger brother and I did that, we would starve to death. But once the food arrived, all bets were off. I had 9 people at the table. If you didn't get your food fast, you were out of luck. My brother and I were what you call chubby. And we were always looking for food. All the clothes we had, our pants and things like that, everything was husky size. So you can imagine 2 4-foot people, chubby. Him and I would go to the refrigerator. We were always looking for food. And we'd go to the refrigerator, open the door, and stand there for 5 minutes looking for something to eat. And then if we found something, that was great. And we'd do this about 10 times a day. My dad would say, if you guys don't stop going to the refrigerator, you're going to wear the hinges off. The other thing that was a problem having a big family was the telephone. So I had the 4 older sisters, my older brother controlled the phone. So if I wanted to call my girlfriend or something and have a little privacy, I couldn't do it in our house because they'd be asking you to get off the phone. I'm expecting a call, this and that. And so I would left the house and I'd go down to the corner drugstore. The drugstore was a main store. All the kids hung out there. They had a large soda fountain counter, which covered half the store. And they had the swivel seats with no backs attached to the floor. And they would serve Cokes. And you could get any flavored Coke. You could have vanilla, cherry, lime, whatever. And they made milkshakes and malts, too. So it was fun hanging out there and things like that. Now, in the back of the store, there were the 10 telephone booths, all lined up, 5 on one wall and 5 on the other. And you could go into the telephone booth and make your call. It was 5 or 10 cents, I forget how much it was, but you'd go in the booth. It was all wood. It was really pretty. And you'd go into the booth and close the door. The light would come on. And in the corner, there was a small fan. And it would start up, but it was rubber. So I spent the first 2 or 3 minutes putting my finger in the blades, and taking it off, and I'd make my call, and then I'd go home. One thing, in high school, I had a geometry teacher. His name was Mr. Terry, and he would pretend to always be us, you know, and he would put a piece of chalk in his mouth like a cigarette, and then he'd get his pointer, and he'd walk around his desk like he's looking for a shot, you know. He says, and then he would call us the drugstore cowboys. He was very strict, and he had a scary reputation, you know. Yeah, he never really hit anybody or anything like that, but he was scary when you didn't know your theorems. One day, he went up and down the aisle, and you'd have to he'd say what theorem you'd have to stand up and repeat the theorem back to you. And if you didn't, he'd get really upset. So one day he took his pointer and smashed it on the desk after 3 or 4 kids didn't know their theorems. And he said, back in the old days, if you didn't know your theorems, and he's holding the piece that's left of the pointer, you know, that he cracked over the desk, and he says, if you didn't know your theorem, you would get it 8 times on each hand. Wow. He was a lot of fun. We did learn our theorems, and we did learn geometry very well. And notice my shirt, Bass Lake. Every year, my entire all the grandkids and my daughters and sons would go up to Bass Lake every year, and it was great fun. And we've been doing it for the last 12 years, so this is our 13th year going up there. And we just found out, so everybody's excited that we're going up. We take 2 big boats up there, and we rent a giant house on the lake, and we go tubing and wakeboarding and things like that. It's really a lot of fun, and so the kids are excited about that, and I have to get my boat ready, so everything is going fine, and we'll talk to you later, and have a good day.